and for a significant time prior to August 1981, you had been conducting an affair with Margaret Spooner, and possibly other women. In due course, Margaret Spooner's husband, Michael, discovered the affair and confronted you at the shop early one morning. He warned you to stay away from his wife. Thus, by August 1981, there was a culmination of a number of matters. Your financial worries were growing, with no immediate way out, and you needed to make a decision as to where your relationship with Carol on the one hand and Margaret Spooner on the other was going. It is apparent that divorce was not a viable financial option, and on the jury's verdict, you decided on the alternative solution, which was to get rid of Carol by having her murdered. The murder was particularly brutal. Dr. Carey, the pathologist, stated that there had been multiple blows, probably between 10 and 15, some of which were inflicted whilst Carol was lying on the floor and may already have been dead. The damage was such as to have left parts of her brain and skull scattered around the storeroom floor. This seems to have been something beyond merely a murder committed in the course of robbery, although robbery of cash and cigarettes does appear to have taken place, but was a crime where the primary motivation was Carol's death, consistent with being part of an agreement or conspiracy in advance, of which you, Alan Morgan, were the instigator. Only one person knows the identity of the murderer, and that is you, Mr. Morgan. That is the secret which you have harboured for the last 40 years. The law has now caught up with you, and you must pay due punishment for your part in this crime. But the murderer remains at large. I turn then to the mitigating and aggravating features. The aggravating features I take into account are the fact that this offence was a planned killing which entailed an exceptional degree of planning and preparation. This included finding a person prepared to carry out the murder, finding a pretext to leave Carol alone in the shop premises by taking the children out to the cinema, ostensibly as a treat for working in the shop, an act which amounted to a cynical abuse of the trust which Carol placed in you as her husband, evidence of the unaccounted cash withdrawals which began on the 27th of July 1981, over 2 weeks before the murder, and the steps taken to ensure that the offence appeared to be a burglary, including leaving cash in the desk drawer as payment for the murder and ordering large quantities of cigarettes the day before the killing. Next, the fact that this was a killing for gain, whereby the insurance on Carol's life would clear the debt on the business and allow you to start a new life with Margaret Spooner in Yorkshire. The brutality of the killing, which shocked all those who attended the scene, incorporating the use of a weapon such as a meat cleaver. The fact that Carol was effectively attacked in her own home, the shop premises and home of the family all being in the same building, and Carol's vulnerability, being left alone in these premises that evening. So far as mitigating factors are concerned, the principal mitigating factors are your age and health. These include your physical frailties, your type 1 diabetes, your diagnosed dementia and memory loss. In your letter to me, you refer to your loss of vision in one eye, your crumbling spine, and your reliance on assistance. I understand how difficult it has been and will continue to be for you in prison, and I take all these matters into account, and also the fact that, in consequence, you will, in reality, be spending the rest of your life in prison. Alan Morgan, please stand up. For conspiracy to murder, I sentence you to imprisonment for life. Taking into account the aggravating and mitigating factors to which I have referred, the minimum term to be served shall be 22 years, less served, namely 21 years and 325 days. You may be taken down.